Before we dive into tonight's tale, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you want more creepy stories that will keep you up at night. So, I'm Ben, 38 years old, a vacuum salesman who's seen better days. My trunk's stuffed with demo models, half of them scratched up from years of schlepping them around, and my life's pretty much a matching set of dents and dings. Divorced a couple years back, broke as hell, and now I'm chasing some shaky lead in Tulsa that probably won't pan out. It's November 2020, and I'm cruising down Route 66 in my beat-up old sedan. Think faded blue paint, a squeaky driver's seat, and a dashboard that rattles every time I hit a bump. The road's a ghost town, man. Pandemic's got everything shut down tight. No cars, no trucks, just me and the hum of my tires on cracked asphalt cutting through the Oklahoma chill. I've got the radio on, some AM station spitting out static and garbled country tunes, mostly to keep me company. I'm fiddling with the dial, trying to find something clear when it just dies. Full on cuts out, right as I pass this weathered green sign, mile marker 13. I glance up, and that's when I see him. There's this guy slumped against the post, like he's been sitting there forever. He's wearing a denim shirt, dark stains smeared across the chest. Blood, I figure, though it's hard to tell in the fading light. He's gaunt, skin stretched tight over his cheekbones, pale as a sheet, with these hollowed-out eyes that catch the last bit of dusk and just hold it. I slow down, squinting through the windshield, my hands tightening on the wheel. He lifts his head barely and rasps out, "Name's Mark. Got jumped. Need a lift." I sit there for a second, engine idling, my breath fogging up the glass a little. I'm no hero, all right? I'm just a guy who's late on his car payment and hasn't had a decent night's sleep in months. Every part of me's screaming to keep driving. "Don't get involved, Ben. You've got enough problems." But he looks rough, like he might not make it if I leave him. I lean over, pop the passenger door open with a creak, and mutter, "All right, get in, but don't bleed all over my seats, man." He shuffles over, slow and stiff, like his joints don't bend right, and slides in. The door slams shut with this heavy thud that echoes down the empty road. I steal a glance at him as he settles in. His boots are caked with dirt, clumps of it stuck in the treads, red Oklahoma clay, I reckon. I brace myself for the mess, but when I peek down at my floor mat later, it's spotless, not a speck. That's the first thing that throws me off, but I shake it off, chalk it up to tired eyes. I pull back onto the road, tires kicking up a faint gravel crunch, and the silence between us is thick. I'm chewing the inside of my cheek, trying to figure out what to say, when I catch something out the corner of my eye, back by the marker. A glint, sharp and quick like sunlight bouncing off metal. A knife, maybe? My heart does this little stutter, and I ease off the gas, craning my neck to look. "Don't stop for that," Mark says, low and flat, his eyes locked straight ahead. His voice is rough, like he's gargled sandpaper, and it sends this cold ripple down my spine. I freeze, foot hovering over the brake, then let it go. "Yeah, okay," I mumble, forcing a laugh that sounds more like a cough. My gut's twisting now, a tight knot I can't shake, but I keep driving. The tires hum steady against the pavement, and the dusk settles in, painting the plains in shades of gray and orange. Mark just sits there, hands folded in his lap, staring out the windshield like he's waiting for something. I grip the wheel a little tighter, the cracked leather creaking under my palms, and tell myself it's fine. Just a guy needing a ride. That's all this is. But as the miles start ticking by, that knot in my stomach only gets heavier, and the quiet starts feeling less like peace and more like a warning. So, we're back on Route 66, the sedan's tires humming along as the Oklahoma plains stretch out endless on both sides. Just flat, brown nothing, dotted with the occasional scrubby bush or rusted-out fence post. Mark's sitting there next to me, too damn quiet, just staring out the passenger window like he's hypnotized by the blur of the landscape. His head's tilted a little, and those hollow eyes of his don't even blink. It's unnerving as hell. My hands are jittery, so I fumble in my jacket pocket for my smokes. I pull out a crumpled pack of Marlboros, tap one out, and light it up with a shaky flick of my Zippo. The first drag burns my throat, but it steadies me a bit, smoke curling up toward the cracked sun visor. I blow out a cloud and glance at Mark, trying to break the silence. "So, who jumped you back there?" I ask, keeping my tone casual, like we're just two guys shooting the breeze. He doesn't turn his head, just keeps staring out the window, and after a beat, he says, 3 guys, took my wallet, left me bleeding. His voice is flat, raspy, like he's reciting something he's said 100 times. I nod, taking another drag, but then I sneak a look at his chest. That blood on his denim shirt, it's dark, crusty, like it's been there for days, not hours. No fresh red, no wet sheen. I frown, rolling the cigarette between my fingers. You sure you're okay? I can call 911, get someone out here. I reach for my phone in the cup holder, but he snaps. No cops, sharp enough to make me flinch. Then he softens, adding, don't need him, like he's trying to smooth it over. Creepy bastard. I mutter, all right, your call, and shove the phone back, but my skin's crawling now. The road's still dead quiet, just the low rumble of the engine and the faint whistle of wind sneaking through a gap in the windowsill. I'm chain smoking now, lighting a second cigarette off the first, the ashtray already overflowing with butts from earlier in the day. My mouth's dry, and I'm thinking I need a break. Some coffee, something to shake this weird vibe. Up ahead, I spot a flicker of neon through the dusk. A diner, one of those old-school joints with a flickering sign that says, Eat, in buzzing red letters. I pull into the gravel lot, tires crunching, and kill the engine. Gonna grab a coffee, I say, more to myself than him. Mark just nods, slow, and follows me out, his boots scuffing the ground as we head inside. The diner smells like grease and burnt toast, the kind of place that hasn't changed since the 70s. Checkered floor, vinyl booths, a jukebox in the corner that's probably busted. I slide into a booth by the window, and Mark sits across from me, stiff as a board. The waitress, a tired-looking woman with a messy bun, drops off 2 chipped mugs and a pot of coffee without a word. I pour mine, the steam curling up, and take a sip. Bitter, but hot. Mark wraps his hands around his mug, and I watch as he lifts it to his lips. He sips, but something's off. The coffee doesn't stay in his mouth, it leaks out, dribbling through these cracked, dry lips of his, dripping down his chin and pooling on the table under his chair. I blink, leaning forward. You, okay there? I ask, but he just wipes his mouth with the back of his hand and keeps staring at nothing. That's when the cook catches my eye. He's behind the counter, flipping something on the grill, a grizzled guy, probably 60, with a limp and a stained apron. Ray, his name tag says. He's staring at Mark, hard, his spatula frozen mid-flip. I get up, muttering about needing a napkin, and head over to the counter. Ray leans in close, his voice a gravelly whisper, smelling like onions and cigarette smoke. Seen him before, he says, eyes flicking toward Mark. Watch yourself, kid. I force a laugh. What him? He's just some hitchhiker, but Ray's not smiling. He turns back to the grill, and I'm left standing there, pulse ticking up a notch. I step outside for a smoke, the cold air biting at my face as I light up. The diner's windows glow yellow behind me, and I glance at the reflection. Mark's seat's empty. I spin around, heart jumping, but there he is, still inside, hunched over his coffee. Except his shadow's swaying on the wall behind him, slow and lazy, like a pendulum. No way it matches how still he's sitting. My hands start shaking, the cigarette trembling between my fingers, and I dig in my pocket for my lighter again. That's when I feel it, a crumpled $5 bill, smeared with something dark. I didn't have cash on me before, I know I didn't. I stumble back inside, holding it up. This yours? I ask, voice tight. Mark smirks this thin, crooked little grin and says, must have dropped it. I shove it back in my pocket, but my chest's pounding now. I sit back down, trying to play it cool, sipping my coffee even though it's gone lukewarm. Then I hear it, tap, 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 coming from the back seat of my car outside. I whip my head around, staring through the window. The sedan's right there in the lot, dark and empty, no one near it. I hold my breath, waiting, and it comes again. Tap, 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 sharp, like fingernails on glass. My pulse is hammering in my ears, loud enough I can barely think. I look at Mark, and he's just sitting there, smirking still, like he knows something I don't. You hear that? I ask, but he doesn't answer. Just tilts his head a little, eyes locked on mine. I'm gripping the edge of the table so hard my knuckles ache, telling myself it's the wind, a branch, anything. But deep down I know it's not. Whatever I picked up at mile marker 13, it's not just some guy, and it's not letting go that easy. So it's midnight now, and I've pulled us into this rundown motel off Route 66. some nowhere spot with a flickering vacancy sign and a parking lot full of potholes. The sedan's tires crunch over gravel as I ease into a spot, and I'm just done, man. My hands are still shaky from that tapping at the diner, and I need a bed, a shower, something to reset this whole messed up night. I grab my duffel from the back seat, old canvas thing, zipper half busted, and Mark follows me in, silent as ever. The clerk barely looks up from his phone, just slides me a key with a chipped plastic tag, room 7. I mutter a thanks and head down the hall, the carpet sticky under my boots, the air thick with that stale, musty smell of cheap motels everywhere. We get inside, and it's about what you'd expect. Peeling wallpaper with this ugly floral pattern, a couple of lumpy beds with thin blankets, a TV bolted to the dresser that probably hasn't worked since the 90s. I drop my bag on the floor with a thud and glance at Mark. He's sitting on the edge of his bed, stiff as a mannequin, staring at the wall like it's got a movie playing only he can see. His hands rest on his knees, and that bloody denim shirt of his is still crusted dark, catching the dim light from the single bulb overhead. I rub my face, exhausted, and say, "I'm hitting the bathroom. Don't go anywhere." He doesn't even nod, just keeps staring. I shake my head and step into the tiny bathroom, cracked tiles, a sink with rust stains, a mirror that's fogged up around the edges. I splash cold water on my face, letting it drip down my chin and take a long look at myself. Bags under my eyes, stubble creeping in. Hell, I look like I've aged 5 years since Tulsa. I'm in there maybe 5 minutes, tops. Washing my hands, running wet fingers through my hair, trying to shake that diner weirdness. I grab a scratchy towel off the rack, dry off, and step back into the room. And he's gone. Mark's not there. No sound, no creak of the door, nothing. Just his bloody shirt draped over the back of the chair like he shed it and walked off. My chest tightens, this sharp little squeeze, and I spin around, checking the corners, the closet, empty. The window's locked from the inside, curtains still. "Mark?" I call out, my voice cracking a little, but it's just me and the hum of the motel's old heater kicking on. I stumble over to the chair, staring at that shirt. It's damp, like the blood's fresh now, and I swear I can smell it. Sharp, metallic, like pennies in the rain. My hands are trembling as I grab my keys off the dresser, the jangle loud in the quiet, and I'm out the door, boots pounding the concrete. I jump in the sedan, slam the key in the ignition, and peel out of the lot, gravel spitting under the tires. My heart's thumping hard, and I'm muttering to myself, "Just drive, Ben. Just get the hell out of here." The road's dark now, headlights cutting through the night, and I'm flooring it, watching the mile markers tick by, 10, 11, 12. Then I hit it again, mile marker 13. I blink, confused, because that shouldn't be right. Route 66 has some weird old layouts. Sure, but another 13 this soon. And there he is, Mark, standing by the post, same spot as before, waving me down with that slow, lazy hand. I slam the brakes, the car fishtailing a little, and I'm yelling out the window, "What the hell, man? How'd you?" He cuts me off, climbing in calm as you please, sliding into the passenger seat. "Thought you left me," he says, voice steady, like we're picking up a casual chat. I stare at him, mouth dry, and the car fills with this smell, copper, thick and heavy, like blood's been spilled on loose change. I'm gripping the wheel, knuckles white, trying to process this when my phone buzzes in my pocket. I fish it out, hands clumsy, and the screen lights up. A photo. It's me and Mark, grinning like old buddies, standing by that damn mile marker 13. The timestamp says it's from an hour ago, back when I was driving alone, before the diner even. I didn't take this. I don't even own a selfie stick. "What is this?" I choke out, holding it up, but Mark just sits there, silent. Then this semi roars past, horn blaring loud enough to rattle my teeth. I swerve hard, tires screeching, nearly clipping the guardrail. The phone drops to the floorboard, and Mark chuckles, this low, dry sound that makes my skin crawl. "Close one," he says, eyes unblinking, locked on me. My stomach's twisting into knots, sweat beading on my forehead despite the cold night air seeping in. I slam the gas again, the engine growling as I push the sedan harder. But that smell, that photo, Mark just sitting there, it's all closing in. And I'm starting to think I didn't just pick up a guy. I picked up something else, and it's not letting me off this ride. So, it's dawn now, and the sky's just starting to lighten up. streaks of pink and gray cutting through the dark as I barrel down Route 66, the sedan's engine groaning like it's as tired as I am. I'm done. Done with this guy, done with this night, done with whatever mess I've stumbled into. Mark's still in the passenger seat, calm as ever, staring out the window while that coppery smell clings to everything. My hands are clamped on the wheel, sweaty and shaking, and I've got this buzzing in my head, like I haven't slept in days, which, fair, I haven't really. I spot that same diner up ahead, the neon eat sign flickering weak in the early light, and I make a snap call. I'm getting answers, or I'm ditching him here. I jerk the car into the lot, tires skidding a little on the gravel, and slam it into park. We're stopping, I say, voice rough and cracking. Mark doesn't argue, just follows me out, his boots dragging slow across the ground. Inside, the diner's quiet. Same greasy smell, same checkered floor, but the morning light spilling through the windows, catching dust motes in the air. The waitress from last night's gone, probably off shift, and it's just us and the cook, Ray, behind the counter. I shove Mark toward a booth, my hands practically buzzing with nerves, and he slides in, still stiff, still silent. I'm pacing a little, boots scuffing the floor, trying to figure out what to say when Ray catches my eye. He's flipping a couple of eggs on the grill, his apron stained with grease, and he nods me over. I glance at Mark. He's staring at the table now, tracing a crack in the formica with one finger, and I step up to the counter. Ray leans in, his hands rough and calloused from years of flipping burgers, and his voice drops low, gritty. "That's Mark," he says, eyes flicking toward the booth. "Back in '92, he robbed a gas station down the road, got shot, bled out right there at mile marker 13. Drivers pick him up sometimes, thinking he's alive. Then they don't leave." I laugh, this sharp, shaky sound that doesn't even feel like mine. "Bullshit," I say, rubbing my jaw, but Ray's not laughing back. He reaches under the counter, pulls out this old newspaper clipping, yellowed, edges curling, and slides it over. I pick it up with trembling fingers, and there's Mark's face staring back at me, black and white, grainy. Same gaunt cheeks, same hollow eyes. The headline says something about a robbery gone wrong, a guy shot dead in November '92. My stomach drops, and I shove the clipping back at Ray. "No way, man. He's right there," I hiss, jerking my head toward the booth, but my voice is wobbling now, and I'm not so sure anymore. I stumble back to the booth, my legs feeling like they're going to give out, and sit down hard across from Mark. He looks up at me, slow, and that smirk's back, thin and crooked. "You okay, Ben?" he asks, and then he keeps going, voice low and smooth. "Lisa used to love lilacs, didn't she? Always had 'em in the kitchen, drove you nuts. You'd sneeze for days." I freeze, coffee mug halfway to my mouth, and it slips, clattering loud on the table. Lisa, my ex-wife. I never said a word about her, not to him, not to anyone on this trip. I hated those damn flowers, the smell, the pollen, private stuff, buried stuff. "How the hell do you know that?" I snap, leaning forward, but he just tilts his head, eyes unblinking. I catch my reflection in the shiny counter behind him. Pale, way too pale, my hair looking thinner than it should. I blink hard, shake my head, but it's still there like I'm fading. Then this fly buzzes over, big, fat, loud, and lands on Mark's shoulder. It crawls right into his collar under that bloody shirt and just vanishes. No buzzing, no nothing. My skin's crawling, and I'm gripping the edge of the booth, splinters digging into my palms. Ray limps over, casual-like, and drops something in front of me. A keychain, this scratched-up metal cross with 13 carved into it, rough and uneven. "Saved a driver once," he mutters, voice barely above a whisper. "Kept it close, kept moving. You do the same." I snatch it up, the edges biting into my hand, and shove it in my pocket. I'm about to say something, thanks, maybe, when Mark stands up fast, his chair crashing back against the wall with this loud bang that makes me jump. "Time to go, Ben," he says, and his shadow stretches across the floor, long and dark, brushing the toes of my boots. It's cold where it touches, like ice seeping through the leather. I'm on my feet in a second, heart slamming against my ribs so hard I can feel it in my throat. "No, man, I'm done," I yell, backing toward the door. Mark takes a step, slow and deliberate, and that shadow moves with him, reaching. I turn and bolt, shoving the glass door open so hard it rattles in the frame. The cold morning air hits me like a slap, and I'm running for the sedan, keys jangling in my hand. I dive in, slam the door, and twist the ignition. The engine sputters, then roars to life. I peel out of the lot, gravel flying, Ray's words looping in my head. They don't leave. The keychain's heavy in my pocket, and Mark's still in my rear view, standing by the diner watching me go. But I'm not stopping. Not now. Not ever. I've got the gas pedal mashed to the floor, the plane's blurring past, and all I can think is I've got to get away from mile marker 13 before it's too late. So, it's midday now. The sun's high and harsh, beating down on the cracked asphalt of Route 66. The speedometer's twitching near 80, the wheel vibrating under my sweaty palms, and the planes are just a smear of brown and green out the windows. Mark's still in the passenger seat, and he's talking now, his raspy voice cutting through the roar of the engine. "Pull over, Ben," he says, almost pleading, like he's tired of this game. I don't even look at him. Just grit my teeth, jaw aching, and keep my foot slammed on the gas. "Shut up," I mutter, voice barely audible over the wind whistling through that damn cracked window seal. Then it happens. No warning, no sputter, nothing. The engine just dies. The car lurches, tires skidding as the power cuts out, and I'm coasting, cursing loud enough to wake the dead. Come on, come on. I smack the dashboard, panic clawing up my throat, and twist the key, nothing but a dry click. Mark's right there beside me, and before I can move, he grabs my arm. His hand's cold like he's been sitting in a freezer, and it clamps down hard, bruising through my jacket. "You're my ride out," he says, low and steady, those hollow eyes boring into me. I yell, "Get off me," and shove him with everything I've got, my shoulder slamming into his chest. He tumbles out the open passenger door, hitting the dirt with a dull thud, and I'm scrambling, twisting the key again. The engine coughs, catches, and roars back to life. I slam the door shut and gun it, tires spinning before they bite the road. I'm flying now, the speed climbing again, my breath ragged and loud in my ears. The rearview mirror's tilted just enough, and miles later, maybe 5, maybe 10, I glance up. He's there. Mark's in the back seat, just sitting, staring at me with that unblinking gaze. I scream this raw, ripped-open sound and jerk the wheel hard, too hard. The car swerves, gravel spitting as I nearly clip a guardrail, the metal flashing inches from my window. I slam on the brakes, the sedan fishtailing to a stop, and grab the tire iron from under my seat, cold steel, heavy in my hand. I twist around, swinging wild, yelling, "Get out!" But the back seat's empty. No Mark, just his bloody denim shirt crumpled on the cushion, the stains dark and wet again. My chest's heaving, sweat dripping into my eyes, and I'm shaking so bad I can barely hold the damn thing. I toss the tire iron onto the passenger floorboard with a clank and slump back, trying to breathe, when the radio hums to life. Static at first, then his voice, Mark's voice, clear as day, but it's not coming from the speakers. It's everywhere, inside the car, inside my head. "You can't leave me, Ben," he says, slow and deliberate, and it's like the air itself is talking. I slap the radio off, but it doesn't stop, just keeps going, echoing in my skull. My hand's in my pocket, fumbling, and I feel the keychain Ray gave me, that scratched-up cross with 13 carved into it. It's warm now, pulsing faintly against my fingers, and I grip it tight, like it's the only thing keeping me grounded. I restart the car, the engine growling back to life, and peel out again, tires screeching on the pavement. Up ahead, traffic's picking up, a few cars, a couple of semis rumbling along. Then this pickup roars by, an old red Chevy with a dented tailgate, kicking up dust as it passes. It slows down, just for a second, and I see him, Mark, standing in the bed, one hand braced on the cab, waving at me with that lazy, crooked grin. My stomach lurches and I swerve hard, weaving through the thin line of vehicles, horns blaring as I cut too close. Sweat's blinding me now, stinging my eyes, and I'm wiping my face with my sleeve, the car shaking as I push it past its limit. The tires screech again, high and sharp, as I dodge another truck, and I'm yelling at the windshield, "Leave me alone!" But he's not stopping, he's hunting me, hopping from ride to ride, and I can feel him closing in. That keychain's burning in my pocket now, like a warning, and all I can do is keep driving, keep moving, praying I can outrun whatever the hell I picked up at mile marker 13. So it's evening now, the sun's dipping low, painting the sky this bruised purple as I roll up to mile marker 13 one last time. The sedan's rattling, engine coughing like it's on its last legs, and my hands are steady for the first time all day, locked tight around that tire iron. Mark's in the passenger seat, whispering, "You're mine," over and over, his voice slithering through the air like smoke. It's not loud, but it's everywhere, under my skin, in my bones, and I'm sick of it. I grip my teeth, jaw clenched so hard it hurts, and mutter, "Not today, you bastard." I yank the wheel hard, aim straight for that damn marker post, and slam the gas. The car surges, tires screaming, and then bam, metal twists, glass explodes in a shower of shards that glint in the fading light. The impact throws me forward, seatbelt cutting into my chest, and the world spins for a second, all noise and chaos. When it settles, the car's a crumpled mess, hood buckled, windshield gone, and Mark's not there. No body, no blood, just an empty seat. I kick the door open, the hinges groaning, and stumble out onto the dirt, boots crunching glass. My shirt's soaked red, sticking to my skin, and I claw at it, panicked, feeling for a wound. But there's nothing, no cut, no gash, just blood that's not mine. My breath's coming in sharp gasps, fogging in the cool evening air, and I dig in my pocket for that keychain Ray gave me. It's cold now, dead cold, the scratched-up cross heavy in my hand. I stare at it, then chuck it into the ditch, watching it disappear into the weeds. I'm shaking, but I tell myself it's over. I ended it. I turn my back on the wreck, stick my thumb out, and hitch a ride to Tulsa with some trucker who doesn't ask questions. The sedan's still smoking in my rear view as we pull away, and I figure I'm free. I ditch the car for good in Tulsa, leave it at some junkyard off the highway, tell the guy it's not worth fixing. For a few days, I crash at a cheap motel, showering off the road dust, eating vending machine crap, thinking I've shaken it. But my hands won't stop trembling, little twitches I can't control, and when I catch my reflection in the bathroom mirror, my shadow's off. It flickers, stretches too long like it's got a mind of its own. I'm brushing my teeth one night, and that copper smell hits me again, sharp, metallic, like blood on coins. I spit into the sink, rinse my mouth, but it's still there, thick in the air. I tell myself it's nothing, just nerves, but deep down, I know better. A week later, I'm walking down some back road, heading nowhere special, when this kid rolls by. Tom, maybe 20-something, wide-eyed and chatty, a salesman like I used to be. He's driving this shiny new hatchback, all eager to help when he sees me slumped by mile marker 13, bloody and beat, my denim jacket torn up. I rasp out, "Need a lift," and he doesn't hesitate, just leans over, pops the passenger door with a grin. "Hop in, man," he says like he's doing me a favor. I slide in, slow, and the door shuts with that same heavy thud from before. He's talking about his sales rote, some pitch about kitchen gadgets, but I'm not really listening. My car, the wrecked sedan, it's gone from the ditch, rolling off on its own down the road, taillights fading into the dusk. We're a mile out when it starts, tap, tap, tap from the back seat. Tom glances over, frowning. "You hear that?" he asks, but I don't answer, just stare straight ahead, feeling that copper taste creeping back. I sneak a look in the rear view. Backseat's empty for now, but my hands are steady again, too steady. I catch my reflection in the side mirror, and it's not Ben anymore, not the guy I was. My eyes are hollow, my grin's crooked, and when I turn to Tom, he flinches, just for a second. "Keep driving," I say, voice low and raspy, and he does, knuckles white on the wheel. That tapping keeps going, faint but steady, and I know it's not over, not for me. Not for him. I'm not Ben anymore. I'm the road's next ghost. And mile marker 13's got another ride lined up. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more creepy stories. Stay safe, and see you in the next nightmare.